which is second max?
Hey,
Why do they call it max?
Boys Gone Wild is episode 104. Take one.
Hey, why on radiators for the highest setting? Why is it max? Why is it not Ben or Toby? Or like Steve or John or something. Why's it got to be Max? What's Max ever done for the radiator community? Or like Pete.
Hello and welcome back to Boys Gone Wild. The boys have come back. It's been a break. We've gone away. I know. No one
cared.
No one seemed to care.
No, I didn't get one message.
Hurtful. We have left for the old times when we were good. We'd leave for even before the show was out. It'd be like, is it going to come out this week? It's like, just wait until the actual day, and they'd be so desperate to get the fix. And now
we might as well take bank holidays.
It's true, and like we didn't do a Christmas special just because I think our
schedules didn't work.
Our schedules didn't work this time.
You left slightly early, which meant we couldn't film on that day, and then I left a day later and had a family event.
So the thrilling stories have meant that we can't do the podcast.
Exactly, and we can't tell you the full extent of them
because it's just too.
It will tarnish our image.
But it'll all come out in the tapes
in due course.
Yeah.
Posthumously,
there'll be a BBC, a Very British Scandal. You know that TV series?
Heard of it.
Hugh Grant plays the Lib Dem leader who was bonking. Who was a secret gay man who was bonking an aide. And then he didn't want them to find out that he was gay, so he tried to kill him.
Hugh Grant?
No, Hugh Grant didn't try to kill him. The politician, the Lib Dem politician, tried to kill him, but in a very British way. So hiring a hitman.
Very British.
Very British.
Very British.
I want a very British scandal about this podcast and what it's actually a front for.
Yes, well, it's a front for a media conglomerate and money laundering various things.
Exactly. But we are back. I'm wearing a new outfit of comfy, womfy clothes, which is meant to make people relax more.
Christmas jumper, is it?
Christmas jumper, yeah. I'm head to toe in comfy stuff because I feel it will help. It makes me much more approachable. And more.
I think it makes you less approachable. Less approachable. 100%.
Do you know how to approach this guy?
No.
It looks like the Michelin Man.
No, he either works at kids' birthday parties.
What exactly?
Or he's going to hustle you at pool.
Yeah, I'd say so. I do always doubt people who live their lives with this being their like everyday wear. It's like that is too comfy, I reckon.
Yeah.
I think there needs to be a tiny bit.
There needs to be some self-flagellation involved in life. There needs to be a kick yourself up the arse. And you can't adequately prepare for various events if you're wearing joggers.
Yeah, it's true.
And sweatshirts.
I mean, I've stopped wearing trousers. Really, I wear Uniqlo to have annoyingly for £20. They have these sort of elasticated trousers that look like trendy trousers, and it's a nightmare because I can't go back now.
Why? Because you're too used to the comfy.
It was so comfortable.
Padded waist. It's
so comfortable, but it doesn't hold me back when I'm climbing through the ladders of life.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Normally,
maneuvering around the streets.
When I'm trying to elevate my circle,
yeah,
it doesn't hold me back. In the way that the reason why I can't wear these all the time, even though they'd be more comfortable than, let's say, a pair of tight jeans.
It's because you have some self-respect.
It's because of self-respect. It's dignity. It's because it stops you elevating your circle.
Yeah,
which is something I want to talk about today.
Yes,
we can get to it, but I think it's something that's going to be very important for both of us is elevating
our circle. 2022 is a year of tough decisions.
And it's time to. A lot of people are going to get cut, and we need to find some new.
We're going to be blocking a lot of you on YouTube and Spotify and various things.
And when we say elevator circle, we mean you guys.
Yeah.
We don't want more fans, we want new fans.
Well, yeah, better.
Better, yeah. Elevate your circle and fan base. But it's hard to elevate your circle and fan base when you're wearing joggers. But then the problem what Uniqlo have done, much like, I don't know, the invention of maybe Steve Jobs when he did the touchscreen iPhone. It's like, wow, this is great, I've got all of this. Oh, wait, a hellscape.
You have such an obsession with Uniqlo. Now, look, I do have one of your Uniqlo white t-shirts.
Yeah, I knew you did because I have 7 of them. I bought 7 of them over the space of 2 months, and I have 3.
Well, 4 of them are unaccounted for. 3 of them because I have 1. Right. How many men, your age, our age, do you know who wear Uniqlo? Because I know one man who wears Uniqlo. And
No way.
And that's Novak Djokovic.
No, that's not. You're so out of touch.
You are out of touch. Are we going to do this laughing
That's
thing?
so embarrassing.
Who else do you know that wears Uniqlo? Uniqlo.
Are you wearing it right now?
The white T-shirt.
Is that my
It might be. Have a look.
Yeah, that's my Uniqlo T-shirt.
Oh, it's a handy
You're
T-shirt.
literally wearing it right now.
Well, that's because I don't have
it's
any
an
clothes.
Excellent white T-shirt.
Yeah, okay, mate.
It's a perfect fit. It's simple. It's good material, and it's cheap as heck.
I just don't. I've never.
So
heard
many people wear Uniqlo.
I've never heard of anyone other than you wearing Uniqlo.
No, Andrew,
Uniqlo.
this is because you move in the wrong circles.
For God's sake. I think I'm comfortable in my circle if
No.
it's not just men in different Uniqlo.
No. Uniqlo is like the biggest base level clothes shop for people in London, I'd say.
That is so wrong.
I think it is.
That
We need
is
for base level.
So wrong.
Young people, base level.
So wrong. No one I know wears Uniqlo.
All the best socks come from there. All the best white T-shirts. The basics. There's nowhere better. It's unbelievably cheap. It's stylish. It's got that Japanese sort of.
I'm just not sure
minimalist.
it is. I'm just not sure any of that's true.
What, you mean a plain white tee?
Yeah,
that
well,
perfectly
maybe
fits
white
and has
tee. Yeah,
a plain green tee
fit
that's
is
the same
A
fit.
fit is a different question, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can get a good fit from anywhere.
Because I'm only wearing. There's no logos on it. There's no brands. It's just plain colours, and it's just the shape. That's why it is the essential thing to kind of, because if you're gonna try and get some Maverick vintage pieces, sure, to spice up your wardrobe,
you've got to have your basics locked.
You've got to have your basics locked in.
And I'm just not sure everyone's getting that.
Yeah,
from
exactly.
Uniqlo.
No, because you got this vintage. Like, I've never seen anything like that before. It's vintage. It was probably made as a joke.
Yeah,
let's be admitted.
Exactly. And it's worn as one as well, because I don't have any self-respect.
It was probably made in the 50s. It's like, imagine if someone wore this and then they threw it in the bin, and then a homeless guy found it, wore it, got killed.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Well, no, it's not funny. That was
No.
actually quite a sad bit of the story, but it has a happy ending.
Because
he gets eaten by rats.
Okay,
but they leave the shirt,
and
someone finds it in the sewer,
yeah.
washes it off, and goes. They start laughing as well. Chuck it in another bin.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a bin. It was a vintage
It
clothes
was my
pot.
house.
Chucked it on your house.
Yeah, weirdly, I didn't realize you
And
knew.
then you're up.
I didn't realize you
fixing
knew
the
backstory.
satellite dish because it's 2003,
Yeah.
and you've seen that someone's chucked this
And
shirt
I'm 8
on
years old, up on the roof fixing the satellite dish.
Yeah, and someone's chucked this shirt on your satellite dish.
And I
you go,
think, oh, great, my new evening party piece. Here it is now.
little did you know it was actually a joke. But you're wearing it as you should.
As I should.
Bit of a Maverick wing. Underneath it, plain white tee, Uniqlo. Perfect.
Like if I just,
Am I wearing Uniqlo?
you're not, we're
Uniqlo.
not. What you've
Plain
done.
green tee.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great thickness.
Listen,
very
what you've done
comfortable.
is complete the concept of having basics in clothing
Yeah.
with Uniqlo the brand.
Yeah.
Now that is not the case.
What am I wearing that isn't basics?
What the fuck are you talking about?
What other Uniqlo?
No. Everyone wears basics, okay? We all.
But the best basics are from Uniqlo.
And that is your personal opinion, and I believe it's.
Give me another. Give me
it's
another
mental.
shot. Give me
It is
another
mental.
shot.
You need to calm down.
You need to give me another shot.
It is anything. If you want to know where London are going to for their basics, it's ASOS, and that's the end of it.
Cheap, overpriced in some places, and that's not
Okay,
the
you might be right, but you laughed at me saying that everyone in London kits themselves out with fucking Uniqlo. Uniqlo.
No, I'm talking. Sorry, I was talking high street retail, but I've now realised that it's a bigger problem than I thought.
What is?
The elevation of your circle. It's gonna.
Okay.
Because it's just the air is more refined when you're hanging out with Uniqlo.
My
people.
retort would be, who's in your circle? Is it Novak Djokovic? Because it's just you and Novak. And if the answer was yes, fair enough.
It's just me and
Maybe I
Novak.
do need to elevate my circle. Because
You
it's
do.
certainly not including Novak Djokovic. He's the only guy that wears Uniqlo. He is.
But you've come back for Christmas.
I've come back.
A cunt already.
Can't already.
Nothing's changed.
Back on my
Nothing's
bullshit.
been learned.
Nothing's been learned.
How was the Christmas period? A big anticlimax? Sad, wasn't it? You had a bad time. That's bad. Me, on the other hand, I had a good
You've
time.
brought a certain energy. I think you brought a certain energy to this podcast. Ever since Uniqlo was brought up, it's just been a barrage of, you know what, just a barrage.
Yeah.
I did have an anticlimactic Christmas because I didn't actually, because I've never.
Well, you were ready for you were semi looking forward to having another non-Christmas.
No, I was in some ways, yeah, because I find it funny
Yeah.
to be by myself over Christmas for some reason. But I know I was looking forward to having my first Christmas in several years, sure, and that was where we're spending time with the families and having time with the family, seeing everyone. I hadn't seen my cousin for like 2 years. I didn't realise that. It was mental. So that was nice.
Which cousin? The mum's side?
Mum's side, yeah. Tommy.
Burgess Hill
boy, yeah. No, that was nice. It was very Christmassy because my stepfather David,
Jewish,
unconfirmed but presumed,
and it would just be a bit rude.
Yeah. After like 10 years, you're Jewish.
Let's not risk it by doing Christmas decorations.
Let's not risk it. No, he always takes charge of the orcs in our house.
Yeah.
And he confessed. I pushed him on this at the pub actually, and he said, "Do you?" I asked him about his music taste, and I said, "Do you genuinely? It seems like you don't like anything under like 140 BPM." And he was like, "That's a burn.
That's a little bit of.
It's a hell of a burn."
How close are you?
We were sharing pork scratchers at the time.
Fair enough.
It was pretty big.
Fair enough.
And he was like, "Yeah, you know what? I don't think I do."
Trying to break over especially hard pork
Broke his
scratch.
tooth. Still continued the conversation.
Weird treats.
Weird, really odd.
You don't know if you like them. They're like a Yakult.
No, I love him.
Yeah?
Pork scratchings, yeah.
Sometimes you're like, God, this is not
But
not ideal.
You got to work for it. You got to
You
work.
had to work for it.
Well,
Yeah,
that's what you want.
That's
Elevate your snacks.
That's why it's like a British snack and not an American snack.
Yes.
There's built into it is a little bit of guilt and pain.
Yeah, and it's not just you
It's
slide
not like-
down sugar in your
Yeah,
gullet.
it's not like the kind of Americanized way of having snacks where you're kind of laid down like a not like well, I was going to say like a suffragette, but that's sort of
like a
forced.
suffragette.
Well, it's more because they
like-
put it through a tube, but I guess
Like being force fed.
yeah, but I guess it's being force fed.
it's
But
kinda
you
the
know what I
opposite,
mean.
yeah.
But it's like the fact because I was saying it's easy
Yeah,
to
the
go down.
suffragettes didn't. Their protest wasn't being force fed, was it? It was a starvation protest.
Yeah, yeah. No, but I guess to make sure that someone who doesn't want to be fed eats, you have to make American style snacks, which make them as easy as possible. Stick a hose down the gob.
And you think the American diet is going to such a way that their food consumption is going to be that of force
Well,
feeding,
they're like-
because in a sense it's easy because you don't even have to chew,
Americans are like
which I'm into.
Bad suffragettes.
Yes,
In the sense that
they haven't got any cause.
No,
They're not hunger
They're not
striking.
hunger striking, but they're being fed the same things.
This is sounding like a political cartoon. Yeah. Where the fuck were we?
Oh, sorry.
David is on the Orcs, and he only plays club music.
He's a drummer as well.
He is, yeah. But he's very into his dance music. He's got.
I bet he was like a trancey guy, like a kind of.
No, he wasn't. I don't know. He's like he might have been a bit of a rocker back in the day.
Okay.
Because he's a drummer. But so over the Christmas meal, he was playing essentially like Calvin Harris. So that's an interesting time to have Christmas, because when I'm not the most Christmassy person itself, it needs to get shoved down your throat, much like the suffragettes' food did.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no cap. So yeah, no, it wasn't. It was, but I had a lovely time. We got the booze out, got very drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Me and David we had the same pair of trousers that our mother both bought us for our Christmas presents.
No, it's been a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Did you share laughs with the room?
The room, yeah. Me and David did just go up to a private room and just point at each other's same trousers and laugh at each other. Yeah. So no, it was very nice. It was very nice. How was yours?
It's good. I did it for the first time with my, not the first time, for the first time in a long time with my mum's side, who are like the side who we're much more alike and similar. But now there's kids involved.
Who the heck's got kids?
Both of my cousins, who but they've been in their late 30s, and now they've both had kids around the same time. So it's that next thing started. And then for me and my sister, it does feel like there is something sad about when you become the least relevant of the whole thing. Because when you're in your mid-20s, early 20s, mid-20s, late 20s, that period, don't have kids.
Yeah.
Now, if you are a mother or father of a kid, you have importance. You've added to the thing.
You've added to the bloodline.
If you're a kid or are still young, you have importance because
Christmas is for you.
Christmas is for you. But if you're an adult with no kids,
well, I'm glad that you finally felt. We discussed this on the last one, and it's something to behold, isn't it? Yeah. But do you not? There can be a joy in sitting back and relaxing and just letting Christmas happen in front of you, like you're a spectator.
I certainly enjoyed that aspect of it, and I took the bit of the pressure off. I guess I just didn't like the feeling of like
loss.
We could easily not be here, and it kind of would be. It wouldn't.
You
be
like to feel instrumental to the group,
exactly.
Don't you? You can't
I like
just
to be fundamental.
Yeah,
I don't need to be the centre of attention, but I need to be a pillar.
You need to be near.
I need to be the pillar that upholds the whole thing.
I think I share that actually.
And then do you go over to your dad's?
That's why we both do a podcast.
I think so, to become the pillars of a lot of people's lives.
Exactly. Yeah. Our family isn't enough. Then I went over to my father's house and had a very different Christmas. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that different at all, to be honest. No, we'd had some whiskies, and he explicitly told me not to say this on the podcast.
Luckily, he doesn't listen.
Well, he said he did a couple of times, but I think that's a lie. And you can text me now, Dad, if that's a lie or not. Yeah. After a few whiskies, Dad started describing his golf friends, which I'm pretty sure he referred to them as the golf gits, but I'm unaware. I'm unaware of where he kept correcting me.
The putting pillocks.
The putting pillocks. The driving donkeys.
That was good.
The fairway fuckers. But he...
Better.
Yeah. The clubhouse cunts.
That's good. I like that one.
And that's because he likes to use the word... I've never heard him use the word cunt that much in my life, other than when he...
Well, he's changed quite a lot since you've left. You haven't seen him properly for a while.
No, that's true, yeah.
And he's raising kids now.
He's raising kids, and
that's when cunts...
he needs that whiskey with his 24-year-old son now to complain about...
Cunts.
To complain about immigrants, black people... No, he's got his golfing, the golf kits. I think is how they refer to themselves. I think that's a lie though. But we got so there were a couple of things because we were talking about comedy and everything. So he was expressing.
Can it go too far?
Can it go too far? Can it go too far?
And that's what we want to discuss today.
And that's what we want to discuss with you guys. When does a joke not become a joke? No, and so. Obviously, it's a big conversation, and we talk about all the time, but it was interesting hearing my father's perspective on these things from a man 40 years my senior.
Yeah.
And he was he was saying how it's vitally important for him as a man in this climate, in this day and age, to go out to the golf gits, go and play 18 holes, get yourself in the clubhouse, have a drink.
Yeah.
And then say whatever you want, and it to be essentially, I was saying it's almost like a liberal safe space for kind of closeted racists,
for unliberal views.
Yeah. So, and I was pressing for a couple of the golf gits.
Yeah.
Are certified racists.
Certified.
Now, and it brings up an interesting conundrum of what you do with your friends. This is your hallowed space, and you go there to say what you want.
Elevating your circle.
Dad has elevated his circle. By part-time / full-time homophobes and racists around the golf course. So he's there, and I kept calling him a racist because that's funny.
Yeah.
And it was all in jest and everything. I know he's not. No, he's not. But then I was trying to get to some of what the views are. What are you guys talking about? Obviously
sacrilegious.
I know, because the golf gets space is the golf gets space.
Yeah.
No, but he was... So obviously, as is the big topic for a lot of nearing 60-year-old white golfing men, transgenderism. Of course, that's a big one.
Huge one.
Not happy with a lot of the views that were expressed from the golfing gits on that, as you can imagine.
You're not happy, or he's not happy.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Dad, no, because Dad admitted that. He was like, yeah, okay, no, I can maybe learn some more about that.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
But Dad, still maybe.
We actually got to a pretty good conclusion, but the golf gits.
Well, the problem I'm feeling is like when Dad next goes back to the golf gits, I'll be the topic of conversation. One of these libtard snowflakes.
Yeah, maybe.
And I couldn't do that, so I had to put my racist and homophobic hat on for a bit to try and impress my father and his friends that I haven't seen for several years. No. So, and then he was discussed. So then I was like talking about, I was trying to ascertain how aggressive the views are of the golf kits. And he admitted openly that 2 of them are racist. 2 of them are, racist.
Yeah.
And it brings up an interesting question. And I think it's a completely fair thing for men of that age to have their space when they can essentially go and be old men. Yeah. Go and sit around a clubhouse. And who are they really offending with these views if they're only saying it to each other?
So it's like if a tree falls in the forest, no one's had to hear it.
Exactly. If a golf kit's homophobic
in a clubhouse,
who does it offend? In a sense. Now, unfortunately, all these men are probably in positions of power around industry and the world. Not the world.
The world.
The world. The world. My dad has elevated a circle. But it's an interesting question.
They also have Facebook accounts.
They all do, yeah. But they mostly use it for F1 slagging off.
Sure. And I wonder which person.
Dad's become an internet troll.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, he commented on... He was telling me with glee in the car on the way somewhere that there was a picture of, in the FIA Awards after the F1, Max Verstappen had won the World Championship, and he arrived, and his bow tie was a bit loose or something. And Dad commented on it, saying, knowing what he was doing, saying like, oh, he can win a championship but can't even fix a tie or something like that.
Who's that for, Bill?
It was for himself because he got like 200 comments replying to him. It's not about his tie, it's about racing and all that stuff. And Dad just sat back with a whiskey and just sipped and watched the trolls come. But he's also a troll. So that's my future in about 40 years.
But it's true. I think that it is important to have that pressure valve.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is a tricky one because it's like conceptually I do agree with it, and it's certainly I think we all have a feeling that there's not enough space just to fucking let off steam. But then you see the steam that's being let off, and you're like, that's not great steam.
Oh, let's put that steam back in the hole.
It's some dirty steam.
Because as well, Dad knowing that I'm a young left-wing person, I wasn't getting the X-rated stuff.
Yeah,
I wasn't hearing the real golf git chat.
And I don't want to say. I guess I don't know what their jobs are, but I doubt it's like there's the most craft on the sort of the jokes and the banter. I can't imagine it's like the most.
You're talking about seasoned amateur dramatics men.
True.
These men know how to craft. Some of them write pantomimes.
Really?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Because you have to you write.
Do you write your own?
I don't know. Well, a guy has, and that's what they're doing.
Okay.
In Hayward's Heath this weekend, you can go and see my.
Get your plugs in.
It's Jack and the Beanstalk. You can go and see Dad, my father, as the pantomime Dane, and my stepmom as Jack.
Oh, sorry. I thought for a second it was his ex-wife in it. Your mum.
No,
it wasn't.
No, that's why I said stepmom.
So does Sally not do her Amdram anymore?
No, she does. She's doing.
She's doing the rival one.
Yeah, she's now joined. It's like the Jets and the Sharks in West Side Story.
Again,
it's tough. It's annoying to use a musical theatre metaphor when talking about musical theatre. But it's just so relevant.
Yeah.
No, Mum's moved away to Buddingshurst, so she won't be able to attend as many of the rehearsals.
Yeah. But on the topic of these men, I had a similar conversation with a family friend who lives in Lewis that we've known for a long time, and he's a great guy. And he used to be in. He's a film producer and it has loads of amazing anecdotes. Like he once hid from Nina Simone.
Oh, yeah. I know this guy.
Yeah. He once hid from Nina Simone when she wanted money because he'd ended up in this office and then Nina Simone's banging on the door screaming for money and the guy who owes the money says hide under the desk. And he was annoyed because he never got to actually meet her. He's had loads that he's great. He managed Fela Kuti's first tour of the UK. He just has these kind of like mad stories, and he's very.
See you there at Christmas.
Yeah, and he's great to talk to and have, and he's got the liberalism of being in the media, but he is 70.
Yeah,
and it is interesting that it's just the divide now that I just don't think was the same 100 years ago. And I'm not the most. It's definitely not the most liberal guy in many ways, but it's just the divide between that age when you start raising conversations where it's like just how behind, on even the discourse that's happening. And it's like I always feel when I speak to people my age that I'm like this kind of like fucking like I'm trying to pull everything back, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't like the way it's headed, and I feel like an old man. And then I speak to an old man, I'm like, oh my God, nowhere near.
Yeah.
And I just noticed that what you see that the Gervais special, you see that Chappelle special. And as much as we've complained on here about how fucking annoying wokeism and all that stuff.
Christmas is a good wake-up call.
Yeah, it really is.
To realise.
Because I guess when you're in London, East London, you just feel like everyone is this kind of
but there's a constant
annoying Twitter fiend. And, like, and you just feel like you're... And then you speak to normal people.
One other
like,
person.
Oh, God, we're actually woke as fuck.
It's tough to know. It's tough to know what we're fighting for on a weekly basis. Because my mind's changed all the time. I like the free speech always, and then
oh God, I don't like.
Well, the golf gets. Not sure about that. Yeah.
I want to be able to. Say, I want the right to say. It's like, yeah, I agree with that,
but
and they say it.
Oh, but not
fuck's sake. You know, I was speaking to this guy, and he was discussing why we can't even say the N-word, and I'm like.
Why do you want to?
Why? Well, there's many of the things. I was like, there's a lot of hills to die on.
Yeah.
That is the worst hill.
It's so dumb. Because it's just like, why? Do you want to say it right now?
But it's also like that. The problem is that we had that conversation was ended about 8 years ago.
Yeah.
Ice Cube went on Bill Mayer, and that was kind of like the end of that conversation. I felt, and it's like
I don't remember that specific example.
That was it.
Yeah, okay. It's a good way to pinpoint history.
But. Yeah, it's just that constant feeling of the clogging up. Yeah. It's like we've passed this. How are we still raising these sort of
We're
points?
in a real. I know the world is as well, but we're in a real existential struggle right now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I want in one way I want the golf kits to exist.
Yeah, it's true. Do we want the golf kits?
In another way, it's a real shame.
But the problem is, if you stifle the golf kits,
then they become even golf kittier.
It becomes malignant.
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 You go.
Malignant. And I think the real problem. I've been thinking about this. The problem with the kind of... There's a lot of fair points raised about the white straight man as a concept. And there's a lot of the issues is basically, what do we do with the white straight man now?
Yeah.
And the white straight men are getting upset because they feel like they're being written off.
Their agency.
Yeah, and doing all this stuff. And then the other people are upset because of how many bad things the white straight man has done.
Yeah.
The real question, it looks like it's this existential growth. The crisis is, what do we do with us?
Yeah. What do we do?
Do you know what I mean? That is fundamentally, I feel, we say it to all these other things. The real fundamental question is, what are we going to do?
With us? It's a good question, because I don't even know what to do with myself.
Because the problem is, we have to, unless...
We don't know what to do with ourselves,
Yeah,
though.
it's like, you're not going to kill us all. We're going to have to be here. So what do we do with us?
What do we do? We have to exist.
We have to exist.
But where and how do we exist?
That is it.
And I don't know the answer.
The golf kits, they go to that thing because they talk, and it's like, look, they're not as relevant anymore, and I get it. Taking up a lot of space, but what are you going to do with us? There's a lot of
maybe the golf kits have got something right here.
Yeah.
Just stick them on a golf course.
Put them in a clubhouse.
Stick them in a golf course afterwards. Let them get fucked in a clubhouse, and then get their wives to take them home. Because they've married a golf kit, therefore they've got to put up with the golf.
Yeah, I guess they've signed up for that.
They've signed up for the golf gittiness.
Yeah.
Hilariously, I said to Dad this wouldn't get on the podcast, and I can very quickly see this becoming the title of the podcast.
Yeah, I said the golf
kits. But
yeah, what are you gonna do? We've got to go somewhere.
Work it out.
It's like
I think open
it's
air
like your
spaces
granddad.
are good.
It's like your granddad gave you this very this is on his deathbed. He gave you this thing that's really important to him, and it's this stinking reindeer head that you hang on the wall that was murdered, and it's like,
are you referring to your race, gender, and
no,
sexual orientation? Because no, I'm checking. Yeah.
The metaphor is your old granddad said, "This is the most important thing to me. Can you please you got to just keep this in the house. That's all I ask." God, and it's this dirty, reindeer head, and you're a vegetarian. You don't want to put it anywhere because you don't like it, and you think terrible things have happened to it.
Yeah.
But it's got to go somewhere.
Do you want people coming to your house thinking that you're the kind of guy that puts a reindeer head up in you?
You got to put it somewhere, though.
You've got to do something because we can't just dispose of it because it's.
And what's happening at the moment is it's like a gay vegan couple. have this reindeer head, and they just keep moving it around and arguing where it's going to go.
Yeah, and no one really knows.
And can we not put this in the middle of the fucking? You just put this in the middle of the hallway. I tripped over it today. Can we put this somewhere else?
Yeah,
it's got to go somewhere.
It has to go somewhere, and I think in the same way, I'm gonna bring it back to I think the golf gets got something right. You need to put that stinking reindeer head in an open air space. Yeah. Now, partly for that is because what better place to let off again, and we might not condone a lot of the golf gets' general thoughts, but I think we know it's an important pressure valve for these men to have to get off their chests. Hell, we might be there in 4 years' time as well. We probably will be. Yeah. Stick him on a golf course. Yeah. Walk constantly moving. You can't.
It's open space. You can see them.
You can't hear different groups because you have to be a certain amount of meters away, so you don't kill people. Yeah. Then but even on there, by the time you get back in the clubhouse, and because you can't overhear a conversation that you can be offended by on the golf course. It's almost like the most hallowed safe space there is. Yeah. And all their steam can just dissipate into the air. And then by the time they get home, they're great. And that's kind of what Dad was saying. He was like, I need to, because Catherine, my stepmom, is she's very liberal, she's very forward thinking, she's very progressive on most views. Yeah. So I think he needs the golf gets even more, because although he doesn't, I think sometimes he just wants to disagree and be a cunt. Yeah, and I see that. I sometimes want to disagree with being a cunt.
We've got it in us.
We've got it in us.
It's in our blood.
It's in our blood. It's cunts, a straight white male dickhead. It's in there, and I know it's in there. I can feel it. I can feel it pulsating every now and again.
But you got to do something with us.
I imagine they just get to the course. And they go, ah, ah, ah! And then they become racist. So it's more like they just need to let off an animal shriek, and then they can talk about how they think gay people don't exist.
But I guess the problem is that we've kind of done the Modern White Straight, which is our golf course, is a podcast being broadcast.
I was about to say, this is our golf course.
This is our golf.
Except for we're a lot more confused. We're a lot more confused. There's a difference every week of where exactly we stand on this because of who we interact with. Yeah, and I think that I think our views are mostly based on who we've hated.
Who was the last
person we hated?
Oh my God, met. That's true. My politics is if I went to like a bar and I met someone's friend who was just this tedious, liberal like wanker, immediately I come in with the right.
I'd walk in and I put Chappelle on.
If I then FaceTime my dad, I walk in, my hair's blue. Stick it on.
Heck yeah.
Can we stick Jamil on?
Preach it, Queen. Preach it, Queen.
Slay, Queen.
Slay it, girl. Yeah. So I think now we all know a lot of our politics is based on hate, but I don't think we realise how much.
Us personally, or
no, but the world. But I think
the way you said it, us. No, we all know that our politics is based on hate.
We all know we're hateful characters. But I think that's the pertinent point, is when we're talking about social politics, I think a lot of it comes down to the last dickheads you've met.
It's true. Yeah. And I think the solution is, you said that the Golf King.
Work at home. Don't meet anyone. Don't go home for Christmas.
I think white straight men should be put into a theme park.
A what?
I think we need to create.
I keep putting things.
I think the way to keep both sides happy, I think they should create a theme park style thing, sort of like a Disneyland. But it's like, and then you drop off your white straight man. He could be your dad. He could be your husband. He could be your cousin. The worst ones are uncles without kids. The ones who really have no responsibilities in the world. Yeah. Those uncles. You drive up, you drop them off, and then it's like a daycare center.
Like a daycare. But with roller coasters.
They got some roller coasters. You've got Top Gear on repeat.
Horatio, I don't. Again. You're describing a golf course. You're describing a golf course. They get dropped off.
What if you don't like golf? You know, you just got. It needs to become like a centre.
I challenge you.
You can say whatever you want. Doesn't matter because it's all contained.
I challenge you to find a straight white man above the age of 50 who hasn't even considered liking golf at one point in their life.
That is true. Yeah.
And they'll like it. And they'll come for the curiosity, but they'll stay for the homophobia.
Yeah. Does the golf not?
The golf is irrelevant. The golf is irrelevant. And that's what I've always thought.
You know what, lads? I came for the curiosity, but I stayed for the homophobia. Not for the friendship.
Not for the friendship. Not for the friendship, but it's just from this shared experience of age, race, and gender. That's it. More power to them. It's a shame they're using...
No, that was the wrong word.
Less power to them. Less power. Less power to them. More... Yeah, God bless them. God bless them.
Not more power.
You let off that pressure valve of steam. Absolutely. Just be careful where the steam is going. I think we can end the Golf Gits chat on that.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt your regular scheduling, but we've got something to tell you. It's been a while, for sure, but there's nothing's changed.
Nothing has.
It's still...
You know what hasn't changed the most?
What hasn't changed the most?
The quality of these bookmarks.
The quality, they've stayed the exact same, if not better.
They seem thicker to touch nowadays, don't they?
There's a lot of changes that we need to make this year. One change that isn't going to happen is my love for these bespoke bookmarks.
I refuse. My New Year's resolution is to keep everything exactly the same with regards to my feelings about bookmarks.
Change everything in my life.
Everything other than
my love for high quality bespoke bookmarks.
And my desire and frequent purchasing of them.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
She's going to have a child.
She's going to have a child, and you're not buying bookmarks.
This is not... You're not just buying a bookmark.
You're feeding children.
You're buying a future.
You're putting food in kids' mouths.
So, keep your
keep your bookmarks.
you take that one.
Keep.
Come on, you know what I'm saying.
I have not. keep your money out. No, keep those Game Boys in your pocket. Crack open a book. And then once you get to a place in which you need to stop because you've had enough reading, pop in a bespoke-ish bookmark in order to keep the place of the book.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Neither could I.
Let's get back to the
Let's
lads.
see what they're talking about now. I think I've discussed some of my issues with my barber on this podcast before. The fact that he's a lovely man, but just...
Ask about your family.
Yeah, ask about my family. But it gives me lilt and various argan oil products for free. But he doesn't cut my hair well, or doesn't ever do what I ask. So I finally cut the cord with him. New year, new me.
And like for you, a lot of your power does come from your hair.
It does.
The whole thing falls apart.
There's a picture of me where it looks like I'm bald, and it's not good. Reading.
It's not. It all.
It's
you can't. The hair's that's your asset. That's
me. That's me. I need it. And for 2 years, it's been terrible because
you've been not powerful at all.
I've lost all my power. It's been awful. Because I've never found a barber in London that I like. I've had one in Hassocks for years on end. Kieran, but I always get the disabled guy, and he actually does a good job. But I finally cut the cord, and I went to a salon.
Yeah.
I went to the salon down the road, East London Beauty.
Bit more expensive.
No.
Oh.
£5 more expensive.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, but that's a bit more expensive.
That's a bit more. Yeah. Okay, yeah. But for me, I thought we were talking £10 more expensive. It's only
when I said a bit more expensive, and you go, no, it was £5 more.
It was £5 more expensive. I'll grant you that. You've got me there. No. I thought it's time to get someone who actually knows how to cut moderately long hair, because I don't think any barbers understand.
Bold choices, 2022.
Bold choices. This is who I'm going to be from now on. So you can either get with it or you can get lost. Yeah. So I went down to this, and I booked it online, and I really didn't want to have the shampoo thing. Yeah. I didn't want the shampoo because I don't think I'm emotionally ready to be shampooed in a salon.
You're not there?
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. There's too much. There's something too vulnerable about being shampooed in the salon.
It is it is. I don't know if the problem is that I respect the confidence of men who do not feel at all exposed when they're getting shampooed.
Yeah.
But I know that isn't me.
Well,
and I've got a lot of those.
Let me tell you a story, Horatio. I walk in and I've booked online scissor cut. That's it. I walk in and I go, hi there. I practiced what I was going to say because I was quite nervous about going into a salon full of women when I hadn't cut my hair for 2 months.
You don't know who's going to walk past the window.
Who's going to be?
It's Bill and all the golf kits.
It's Bill and all the golf kits. I'm there with a bowl of potpourri, a towel like done up how ladies dry their hair with a sipping tea. Oh no.
Is that your boy, Bill?
And he just looks in and goes, no. So yeah, these are my insecurities.
Yeah.
Well, it was more just that I felt like I wasn't. My anxiety, my misplaced anxiety was that I'm not welcome there. This is like like a barber's is like a male's space to spit and grunt and things.
Yeah.
A salon is a place of beauty.
Yeah.
It's especially when you go to East End Beauty or East London Beauty.
Yeah.
It's
their space away from people.
It is for ugly munters like me. I don't want to. I'm not going in there for a facial. I'm going in there to sort out this mess.
Yeah.
Can you
and only you've given up on men, basically.
I've given up, and I said to them, I've given up on men. My dad's a racist. But you got to help me out.
You're sort of like, it's sort of like a woman who's been in a bad marriage and has just turned lesbian late in life.
Me.
That's what it's like. You look like the lesbian.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the point was, Rachel, I'm getting the haircut to stop looking like a lesbian.
Interesting enough, but it does feel emotionally, it is like I
feel I've come back with some feminine qualities, yes. I've learnt a lot in that salon because I was in there for a fucking hour trying to sort out this haircut. I walk in. Hiya, I've got a appointment for Andrew for 12:30, please. Scissor cut, I believe.
Yeah.
She would take a seat over there. And it was at the chair with the hole in where they do the shampooing. Mm-hmm. I was like, I think you made a mistake there. No, I didn't. I sat straight down. And my hair was shampooed. I got this at 12:30 today. You were sitting in here doing whatever. Yeah. I was down the road with my hair being massaged by an Eastern European lady.
Yeah.
And got shampooed and conditioned.
God.
Now, on the first, I noticed when it started, my arms were firmly crossed. They were, and this is an absolute truth. They were firmly crossed, I was laughing. I was laughing at the situation, like, what the? If I could see myself now, if anyone else could see me, I'd just laugh. And then suddenly they went to my side, and I thought, oh, okay, no, this is I'm becoming more comfortable with this situation, but I'm still inherently uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And then a couple more minutes passed, and I realised, actually, this is hurting my neck. And I just reclined back, and I was in heaven.
Really?
It was great.
Yeah.
It was really great. Then I had a great haircut with a quite aggressive Eastern European lady who was bemused by the work my other barber.
Really? So it was that bad?
Yeah, it was that bad. And because it's just like fucking... My haircut isn't that complex, but I've said to her, I was like, when I walk into a barber's, I feel like they get terrified. They look at me and go, what are we going to do with this freak? Because I don't have a skin fade.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true.
Now I think about...
You don't have the 3 haircuts.
I don't have the 3 or the 4 that are on option. They go, what? And then just
it's literally like one of those shitty menus.
I know.
Pointed, you want number 2?
Yeah, no, yeah, that would do. But no, because he kept shaving this bit of the hair, and I said to him last time I went in, I said, let's scissor cut all of it. And he went, yeah, I've got you. And he does it, and he felt, okay, good. And he just gets the clippers out and starts doing that. So she had to work for a long time on trying to get it back together. Yeah. She said, we're not going to make it perfect now. We're going to have to do another session. As in, well, I'll just next time because I have to wait for this to grow out.
Fuck.
Because he really fucked it. Yeah. She took a while doing it, and it was mental. Like when she put it down, I was like floppy either side.
Fucking hell.
So she's really getting it back into shape.
Yeah.
But this is the other problem with going to a salon. There was a very attractive assistant who was like sweeping up stuff and generally around, gorgeous. And there was a point where I just got out of the shampoo, and I was sitting there looking in the mirror, and they use all their clippers. So I was literally sitting there with my middle bit clipped up like that, and then just my sides flopping down here. So
you're like a Finnish rocker.
Yeah, a Finnish rocker, or just like someone from the Dark Ages, just flopping down with her hair up like that, just like. And then this woman was like mopping up behind me. I was like, "It's fine. This is a salon life. They've seen it plenty of times." I was like, "It'll be gone soon." And then the phone.
She goes, "Fuck it!"
Oh my god! This is meant to be East London Beauty. And then
that's what I'd be like.
Yeah. Oh! Then the phone rings, and seemingly my hairdresser is doing everything in the shop. No, before someone comes in, a neighbour complaining about where they're leaving their bin, so that disposes the manager, and therefore the phone rings, so then she has to answer the phone. So I'm sitting there like that.
What are you doing? Nothing really.
Nothing really. just trying to sort out a fucking disaster over here.
Sat there like,
I'm honestly sat there with that, and I was just like making all good eye contact with the very attractive lady behind me, sweeping up the stuff, just looking like this. And part of the reason I think men like to go to barbers is because you never look more ridiculous than when you have a haircut. You don't want to be around women, you want to be around men. And I've taken the brave move.
That's why it's like a bathroom.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
It is.
You know, you wouldn't want to get your cock out and piss in your urinal in front of a woman.
But at the end of the day, who knows best with these things? Women do. It wouldn't be true for men cutting women's hair. Do you know what I mean? I was saying because women would know, that will look nice. That will look nice. Men.
Skin fade.
Yeah. Because they only have to do one thing. But I think I'm converted, and I think I'm now a salon bitch.
Yeah. It's good.
I'm going to be one of those guys. So I had a good rapport with her. We had some fun.
You've got salon hair.
I do have salon. It's like conditioned to fuck right now.
Yeah.
It's glowing down the street.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's looking good. And I think it's
better. I've still got this bit.
2022.
She said, I can't do anything about it. And I was like, don't you worry. You've done it. I was like, you've done enough.
Yeah. But I do agree that feeling of just feeling so vulnerable whenever you're put in these sort of situations, but it is about accepting it. This is what 2022 is going to be about: elevating your hairdressers.
Elevating my hairdressers. I'm elevating my circle by getting the fuck rid of Ali. God bless the guy, and I wish him and his family well. But if I cannot stand going in that barber's and watching one more tour around Butlins, a video tour on YouTube around Butlins, whilst he's cutting my hair poorly, I just can't do it anymore. And that the old Andrew would have gone back, but the new Andrew is going down to the salon and getting a better haircut.
Yeah. Well, good for you, man. Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
Keep the pussy wet and the conversation dry. You?
I think it's to stop hurling racist abuse out of my bedroom window.
Actually,
that's something that I want to change.
No, I'll do that next year. That's the next year for me. Look, you've got to take things step by step.
I think what I'm going to... Actually, I don't think I'm ready to stop hurling racist abuse out of my bedroom window. I am ready to maybe switch up the stereotypes so it's less offensive, you know.
So you're racism.
So I'm going to start, throwing curveballs. So, I'll be like, Jewish people can't swim.
Okay.
And it's like,
sure.
It's sort of like, it's racist, but it's like, at least it doesn't have, it doesn't even play on any stereotypes.
Yeah. We know you're white because you're wearing jeans. Yep.
I mean, yeah. So that's sort of my New Year's resolution. But
everyone wears jeans, don't they?
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Yeah, but that was the point.
But so 2022, do you have any feeling? Do you feel the exact same as you did in the other years of trying to view goals, motivations? Does it feel like any other year, or is there anything different this time around?
I was trying to go to sleep tonight, and I realised I'm 25 this year.
It's tough.
That's something, isn't it? 25 is a lot.
You entered. I entered the pandemic 22, and I'm going to be 25. And it was still probably going to be a lot of that holding around. That's weird to think.
That 22. Is weird to think. 22 to 25,
yeah. 3 years.
Oh, God, it's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
And just 25 is always where you're like, shit, late 20s. It's not late, but in the latter half of the 20s, it's something to think about.
Yeah. You're closer to death than birth.
No.
Yeah.
Well, live fast, die young.
It's true.
I'll tell you that much. For nothing. We do aim to burn out by 50. I think everything's accelerating a bit. It's crunch time, crunch daddy time. I think I can only do this job for so much longer before the job starts doing me.
Yeah. So would you? So in the goal would be to get out this job.
Well, it can't, not necessarily, because I can put up with the job if I'm doing other stuff.
Yeah. So maybe get into painting.
Yeah. Haven't cracked the watercolours out for a while, actually.
Keep the job. Get out the watercolours.
Get out the watercolours. That's the fucking dream. No, I mean we've done well on some sketches recently. There's been a nice kick and give a bit of a shot up the arm.
A little bit of what's it? The endorphins. Is it?
The endorphins. Yeah.
Is it endorphins?
Yeah, but they don't come from your stomach. Yeah, that's
up here.
Yeah, it's a hormone. Comes from your brain. But yeah, no. So I think diving into that properly. Just producing some fire content.
Do you think that's your 2022?
Yeah. I think so, because it's like one or the other. It's traditional employment or diving into this, and I choose traditional employment.
He's going to go back to welding.
Look, you can take the man away from his tools.
Yes.
What about you?
Well, I've never thought in goals, and I've always in the same way.
Was that just a setup then?
Yeah.
Loser.
Yeah. Don't really have any goals. Fucking. Because I'm naturally all right with goals. Just vaguely, they always seem. I normally just have it vaguely in my head anyway. I'm not someone who has to.
Yeah.
I'd need those bullet points and stuff like that,
Yeah.
or like vision boards.
Yeah.
I'm always visualizing constantly. Over my reality, I have an image faded lightly of my goals. Do you know what I mean? Just lightly over it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I've got.
No, I think we're different actually. Similar and different.
You went.
Whoa, it went there.
It's complete the opposite.
You'll never. You know what? We're exactly the
No, it's
complete polar opposites. Actually, yeah, I agree. Well, because I don't really know. I'm similar in that.
Yeah.
I think goals can be a futile exercise.
Yeah. I hated doing them at school for sure.
Yeah,
that was like they'll put with you with the same sort of like energy.
I think
as like these would be like really.
Yeah,
and it just I think what I don't like about it, in the same way that I've stopped so much of like obsessively trying to like open up constantly.
Your bumhole.
Open up my bumhole. It's not great, but you know it does work. I think the obsessively.
The obsessively really made it. I'm gonna, because I'm gonna work on it, obsessively open up my bumhole. No, I'm sorry, it's hilarious. Sorry, you were saying something serious about goals.
In the same way that, I don't think it's good to just like open up about your emotional state if you don't feel like you need to.
Yeah.
It's the same feeling with goals where it's like being forced to like rushly think about what I want, and then I feel a little bit dumb afterwards when it's like I didn't actually want that, and I just now feel shit because I haven't got it. And in the same way when I remember at uni a lot there was like some people if they were going through a mental health thing and people were opening up, it'd come round to you in a circle, and then you'd be like, it'd be your turn to talk about. I get, and then you're like,
and you make shit up. You make shit up. I think the first thing I remember and
because that was when the conversation was so much like this was like the thing to do, and I'm like, and
my parents divorced 10, 15 years ago.
I feel really like exposed and like I didn't even feel that. I just wanted to fit in.
Yeah,
and the shadows.
Yeah. But then it's I don't know. Oh, it's different people coping in different ways. But then you're made to feel like a pariah, or almost like you're lying to yourself because you're not accessing some sort of deep level trauma that exists. But things can just be fine at times.
But this year I for some reason felt like doing goals and res. For some reason this year it feels like I'm more like sort of like Harry Livingston, think big, work smart, goals mindset, all of those sort of like the hustle hardcore. That's more in my head now than it ever has been.
No, I think it is for everyone, and I also believe that's just a symptom of the 1st of January to the 10th of January.
No. I'm saying more so than other Januaries.
Yeah, are you sure though?
I'm positive.
Okay.
Because I've had Januaries before.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But
I'll have them again.
But I'm not sure you remember them that well.
I disagree.
Okay.
Because I've never written New Year's resolutions before.
Have you written one now?
I've written one stuff now.
Well, what is it?
Loads.
How many?
I'm not
You're not going to tell.
I did like career, I did all of that stuff. Well, BB does it every year because she's a woman. All right, I'm sorry to say it, and obviously, and it's like they're more driven like keep going, champ. My sister had like when she was trying to be productive, she had a post-it note that said like you are enough, and it's like look, that's not. My
sister had written on a wall in our old house, nothing's impossible. Even the word itself says I'm possible.
Yeah, you know. Whereas I had Kim possible. What a fitty.
I had a picture of Cheryl Cole. Scantily clad, might I add.
God, that was a bit outrageous, wasn't it?
It was a bit. but I had to assert my sexuality.
Did you ever?
I'm not gay.
Did you ever masturbate over?
Yeah.
So how does
Yeah.
because I never had I never ever went through the kind of like garage aesthetic of a boy's bedroom.
Yeah.
Of like I always found it a lot when I'd often when you'd go over to friends' houses and there'd just be like
Tits.
tits. Dude, like
That's
my
a bit
mum
much, yeah.
like helps me clean my room and stuff, you know.
Yeah, but fuck your mum. But also
No.
fuck your mum. Whoa.
Yeah,
It's
weird.
a strange. It's a confusing time.
It is weird. I certainly, you know,
I
my
remember-
mum's very like British about sex, and it's quite sexually repressive household anyway. You know,
No
but,
shit.
no shit. But
Look at what you're wearing.
this screams. This screams sexually open.
You're dressing as a child's entertainer.
No, I'm not. I'm dressing as an
You
adult.
look. You look like a 7-year-old.
No, I look like an adult entertainer. I look like I look like a porn star.
Yeah, but you look like a 7-year-old. You look like you reverted back into your
Do you think
childhood.
this is sexual repression?
I think it's sexual repression. I think this is your mum's fault.
I think.
Oh, Harry.
I think women watch this podcast and be like, "Whoa, that's revealing." It will literally. I'll be like, people will
Yeah.
see this and it'll be like male lingerie. It will literally be like a woman with her cleavage out. Will be like, "Whoa, that's." I didn't expect that on a Friday morning.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm saying that I look like a porn star. It's pure. This radiates pure sexual openness.
It doesn't.
But my mum, obviously, it was never even on the cards. I don't feel comfortable with it. She'd never feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I would never even wanted to. But I go
But
over
you
to
never
friends.
asked her because
I
I'm
didn't
not
even want
saying
to.
I'm
It
not
wasn't
saying I
even-
would.
It wasn't
It's so
in
awkward.
my head. 'Cause
I remember the biggest step for me
yeah.
was changing my laptop's background, or even my shared family home screen on my user on the desktop, to a sexy image of Kelly Clarkson, and that was when, yeah, you're a man, Drew. You're a man, Drew.
That was your bum mitzvah.
And that's like a gateway drug to having Cheryl Cole on your wall.
Yeah.
Now, I had friends that would have like page 3 material on
Yeah.
the wall, like bazookas out in force.
Yeah, like when you bare breasts,
Now,
I'm
I
like,
think,
that is
I think,
mad.
I think that's rude. I think
mad.
that's rude to your mum and your
That
family.
is rude. Because you
Cheryl Cole having a bikini on.
yeah, helping young men. It's a noble
Jessie
pursuit.
J turned around when she's got that
Yeah.
thing on.
Yeah.
Continue.
But what I always wondered, as a man who never had any sort of sexy images on his wall, how do you masturbate over them? Do you stand up and look at it?
You're missing the point. You are missing the point. The internet still exists.
Yeah. No,
You
but
don't-
you told me that you wanked over the poster.
Yeah, well, it can be bothered to like do something else.
So could you see it from your bed?
It's a good question.
Were you standing up?
It's a good question.
Do you
trying
unblue
to-
tack it from the
well,
wall
I'm really-
and then sort of hold it over?
I'm really trying to give you an honest answer here because I'm trying to remember the layout of my room because you know I'll give you the complete honest answer. There could have been standing up. There could have been in view from the bed. That's all I could do.
Because that really is the laziest form of masturbating.
It's
If in the slightly in the distance,
Yeah.
far away from your bed, there's a poster
Just
of Cheryl Cole. She doesn't even have her
It's a
breasts
bit
out.
blurry.
It's just
Oh yeah, I think that's a. Yeah, that'll do. There you go. It doesn't take anything.
because it does show the mechanics of male sexuality in the way that when I hang out with my 30-year-old friends, there was one of my 30-year-old friends once said, "Oh, I mistook a woman for a lamppost."
That's good. Really? Wait,
it's
mistook a lamppost for a woman.
Well, when I in general have a lot of friendships with 30-year-old men because of comedy, and
Yeah.
that generational gap, something that always comes up. The one thing that really steps from men my age and 30-year-old men,
Porn.
is not porn, is commenting on women's appearance to another straight man. Our generation
yeah.
don't think ever do that really.
Yeah, some do.
Maybe. Okay, fine. Well, it just seems so alien to me. But whenever I meet that further generation,
Yeah.
people as like arty or liberal as us, so we're not talking about the meatheads of our generation.
Yeah.
Like they would still be like,
Yeah.
you know, and like look at you and try and have that moment.
If I'm honest, I've started to do that more recently. Yeah, because I think I'm just more comfortable with my sexuality in some ways.
But then
Only
you're a very
I do it
liberal
to a
guy.
few
But then
people.
your big belief is that you don't want that at all to put any chains on your sexuality.
Heck yeah. Oh my God. I got goosebumps. Say it again. Say it again. That's the way.
That's it.
That's the way to be. Yeah.
Yeah, because we're in that kind of sexually.
Yeah, because sex is sex and sexual politics is sexual politics.
And that's like
they're different. Yeah.
And
of course they are.
You're basically when it comes to sex, you're like, if it's a crime, then lock me up.
Yeah. I'm happy. I'm happy to go down with the golf kids. If
commenting on a beautiful woman is a crime,
no, that's not it. That's not it. So you can comment in different ways.
If calling women a whore online is a crime, then lock me up.
Lock me up. No, but it's because it wasn't. You don't put the pictures up to wank over them. It's a very interesting time in a young boy's life, and it is a stamp of. I think it's a stamp of adolescence. It's saying once you put Kelly Clarkson or Jessie J or Cheryl Cole on your wall, you say, I am now. I think you put it on offer before you're that sexually active as well. As in, like, not
a precursor.
I'm talking about masturbating. I'm trying to think of, did I put those, what I'm really fascinated in that, did I put those posters up before I'd had a wank before?
Wow. Well, because it's just assumed.
Because it's like, you know what, I'm starting to like the look of this. Starting to like the look of these tits. Yeah, that's looking good to me. When I'm like 12 years old and actually, those look nice. Those look quite interesting.
Your voice still hasn't broken.
My voice actually dropped when I was like 12 and a half years old. Yeah. This is why it's so deep now. So I was kind of sort of, I was this tall, going, yeah, Kelly Clarkson, I'll fucking have a bit of that. I became Cockney as well, frankly. But no, it's an interesting point in a boy's life of... And yeah, going around and seeing a couple of friends.
I always thought it was vulgar.
Full on
I'm
tits.
not gonna lie.
I did when I saw nipple. I thought, no, that is.
It's vulgar.
I thought, now look, we're all growing up, but that's a step too far for
It's
me.
vulgar. It's vulgar.
Your mother hoovers that room. Benjamin.
It's uncouth.
But no, it is interesting, and why I think it is that stamp of I'm a man now, even though you know you're not.
So you have a son.
Yeah.
What's your parenting approach going to be?
Let him fucking do it. Of course.
Tits out?
Oh no, I'd go in.
Would you put your foot down
I'd
with
go
tits?
in and say, "Great tits, by the way."
What to him? He's a fat little kid.
He's a fat little podge man. Let's say your tits
trying to build up his insecurities.
Your tits are looking really good, by the way. They remind me
thinking
of a woman.
Thinking that's good parenting. Yeah. Your son's struggling with his weight. Yeah. And
nice tits, mate.
Your wife goes, he's really struggling. Can you speak to him man to man?
And nice tits, mate. Do you mind taking the nipples down?
Oh no, just being like, I know you're struggling at school, but I just want you to know you've got really lovely breasts.
Yeah.
Was that it? Was that it?
Let's do it. It's all right, Sandra.
That could be it.
Could be her. You let him do it. No, if the nipples came up, that's when your job as dad, you're ready to go. You're firing all cylinders. This is a job for dad. There's not many jobs for dad, but that is a job for dad.
What, taking it down?
No, you don't take it down. You just go in and you explain why that's maybe a bit too much for this household. And you talk, and that's when you have the conversation about respecting women. Whilst you could sexualize them when it's appropriate.
Yeah,
of course you can.
Yeah.
That's what a sexual relationship is.
If I was ever going to have those conversations, I'd do the Jeremy Kyle crouch every time. So
even though they're taller than you.
They're standing up.
You're looking.
Let me tell you about the birds and the bees, son.
So the thing is, son, we've been waiting to have this chat for a while.
My hand's shaking because of the pressure.
Yeah, your knees giving way.
No, I'd create an uncomfortable atmosphere so that they wouldn't even try it.
So you're taking your mum?
Yeah,
your mum's static. Yeah,
I think so. I do. I think it's
really.
Vulgar. I think it's vulgar.
Wait, what? But how can you assume that they won't even try it?
How does it mean try? Where are they getting? So how did you?
When you say try it, do you mean even if it doesn't have nipples?
Yeah, I wouldn't like it.
Oh,
yeah. Not under my roof, son.
No, I'm just saying if the nipples come out, I'm saying you can trade it in for a bikini pic. Let the man, and this is equal if it's a woman. Let the men and the women, the young men and women, explore their sexuality.
She can have like 1D style posters of like a boyfriend.
Can you imagine if she just had a massive dick out? Can you imagine walking into your daughter's room and just saying a massive picture of a penis?
I'd support her.
What the fuck is happening? I think I'd laugh.
I'd support her on a journey because
No. I think
no.
No, you got to let kids be kids. You got to let them explore that. And I think the more you try and repress it, the more it's going to come out in hyphy ways later. Look at you. And look at me. perfectly sexually healthy and a fucking deviant. In your own freakish ways.
To end the episode, we want to talk about the fact that we ran into a listener in the wild, which is always a thrill.
This might be my New Year's resolution.
Go on.
It doesn't. It's happened too often for our level of success that I've been recognised out in the wild. It hasn't. Often it's not been with you, actually.
How many times have you been recognised?
4.
Oh, that's pretty good.
It's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. And I don't know how to react at this point because one, it's so unexpected because we're not big at all. But it's happened enough times where I need a line at least.
Oh, I thought you said a lion.
It's happened enough times where I just need to sleep it off. This is enough now. This is getting too much. That's the 4th one. No, but there was in our local just down the road is the Rusty Bike, and that's hallowed turf in some ways.
Yeah.
But I was very hungover, and it was when Adam came back, so he went to the pub. So we needed a catch.
Not looking great. Your hair's a mess.
The hair is like at its worst that it's ever been because this was like 5 days before this cut. I didn't bother doing it because it's the Rusty Bike. It's my local.
That's your local. That's your clubhouse.
That's my club. Oh my god, yeah. It is. But it's like they know me there for very different reasons. They know me for being
dragging you out,
a delinquent. yeah, getting in fights, doing drugs in the toilets, all the usual. So I was scruffed up, and then it was my round. It was just me and Adam. I went up there and I was just like, oh, two pints of Guinness, please. And then while she was pouring, she was like, "Oh, I follow your Instagram. I really like your podcast and sketches and stuff." I just looked up. I was like, in my head, I was like, "Oh god, I really don't want this now." I just said, "Oh well. Thank you very much. Is it possible we could get the Brighton game on the TV?" I really fucked it. It was quite rude, to be honest. Because I was like... I'd gone up there...
How long was the pause between...
1 second. It was bad, because I went up there knowing in my head I want to ask that question. Yeah. That was... I wanted to ask for 2, but and my mind was in a state, and I was tired. I was just like, right, you just need Guinnesses and get the Brighton game on the TV. So then... I'd accomplished the Guinnesses, and I was just waiting for the moment for the Brighton game on the TV. And in my wrong mind, in some ways, I thought, "Oh, I'll definitely get it on the TV now." But it was literally, "Oh yeah, I really like all your stuff. I follow you on Instagram, like your podcast and stuff." Oh, thank you very much. Can we get the Brighton game on the TV? No, is that all right? I felt really bad, and then she kind of went off to solve.
I think it's funny because it's like I think there's. I don't like how if I've ever run into a listener, they've always played it cool and like been very nice and genuine, and it's like I feel if you're really famous, that's all you want from people is for them to play it cool, to be like reasonable.
Yeah.
But if you're not famous at all,
then you want the
opposite.
You want the fandom, yeah. You want the gas.
You don't want them to be reasonable.
Yeah.
You want them to be getting in the way.
Yeah, I did run into a very suave Spanish man recognized me again in a pub, but I was with like quite a few other people, and he made quite a meal out of it actually, and that was the perfect.
That's what you
one.
want. You want an embarrassing.
Because he stopped our. There was like 5 of us having a conversation.
You want it to be embarrassing. You want it to be obstructing you. You want it to have all of those things that actual people who are actually famous complain about. Yeah. You want all of those things.
Yeah. So you can, and then you can apologise it to the group afterwards. Sorry about that. Just work getting in the way again.
When it's fine to be a fan, but when I'm with my family, can you not?
So if you're one of the 4 people a year that recognise us, could you step it up?
Do you have anything to plug? You got your dad's.
If you're around in the Hayward Heath area and fancy visiting Clare Hall Theatre and want to see my father and my stepmom play the 2 principal roles in Jack and the Beanstalk pantomime for New Year's Eve. Then go. It's
good to get your plugs out. I don't think I've got anything to plug at the moment, but it's good to be back.
Back to our usual broadcast programme. We've got some good guests lined up.
We've got some big guests lined up. And so I guess I'll have to say it again. I haven't said it for a while, but keep it swanky, keep it swave.